Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Late Night Enforcers. We're doing a review for Dragonball FighterZ. Nobody cares.
Fighters. It's not Fighter
Fi-
Z.
I don't give a
Fighters.
fuck what
You
it
can go ahead and
is.
ask Bandai Namco US on Twitter. They were correcting people for like the entire week before it got dropped.
The game doesn't work, so I'm gonna call it what I want.
uh, Aspects
Okay,
of the game don't work,
the game
but
didn't work the
with what we
day.
wanted to do on the day of release.
Yeah, the
Right.
day that they offered me a product after taking my $60, the game did.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, it's
Yay!
the Late Night Enforcers. We're
Yeah.
gonna we're gonna talk about a video game here. Patrick is off doing family stuff, and we don't ever want to get in the way in family stuff because I mean we're family guys. We gotta be family. Everybody's got a family. You gotta do family stuff and family times.
Family stuff is
Family shit.
important.
Yeah, family shit happens.
Family
So
first. Family
me and
first.
me and Ryan here thought we'd get together and
This is
have
nostalgic. It's just you and me. Wow.
yeah, and it's almost like one of our debate casts where we used to
Ooh.
bitch and moan about one or the other thing.
And I'm sure there's
'Cause
going to be some of that, but we'll probably agree on aspects of it more than we used to.
I don't know. I think you've
Mm.
given this game a hell of a bigger fair shake than I have.
Well, there's more aspects than I want to do than just, fight my friends. That's why.
Mhm.
Um, I know that I mean, we were both really looking forward to it because we both like the triple tag team fight style games, Marvel vs. Capcom style stuff. Arc Systems puts out great stuff. Guilty Gear
Yeah.
puts out great stuff.
Fantastic music. The
Right?
visuals are
The art
amazing.
the art in this game is like it's like watching the fucking TV show, and
Yeah.
not like current Dragon Ball Super TV show. It's like watching a weird mix between Z and that, just because of the way it came out in the game. But it's to me, it's the art and the angles, the sharpness of the lines harkens back to DBZ from back in the day.
Yeah.
So that's what I really like. Um, but yeah, like I was stoked for the game, man. The second I saw the first trailer, I was like, "Holy shit!
Yeah.
Finally,
I
something
agree.
that's not Xenoverse."
Yeah. Okay. And or that other one that they did back on the PlayStation 2, I think it was Bukiden
Budokai,
Bukaki.
the Budokai Tenkaichi, and like Budokai 3 and that whole series and stuff.
Yeah, because it was one of these things where it's like mid-fight you could pick a capsule and throw it out. Don't
Hmm.
no. These guys don't need fucking capsule bullshit. These guys need to be
Yeah.
powerful enough to beat the shit out. Look, I can't remember the guy's name right now. I'm surprised he's not in the game, at least in some way, shape, or form. But really early first season, Dragon Ball Z character, little fat fucker ran around with a sword.
Yajirobe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Well, it's
motherfucker was
it's also
kicking ass.
missing Master Roshi. I mean, you've got most of the Z fighters. Yajirobe wasn't necessarily one of the Z fighters. He was just a part of the supporting cast. I do get it though, because I mean, you've got Chiaotzu shows up as a special for Tien, not
Hmm.
as a playable character, right? And I think it would be hilarious if, I don't know, like Krillin or Goku or Yamcha could call in Yajirobe
Yeah.
to slice off something, just like slice off Beerus's tail or Frieza's tail. I don't know. I think it would just be funny. Um, I'm willing to bet there's going to be DLC for those additional characters, and that's just a guess. Because at this point, Yamcha's getting played out, and Yamcha been sleeping on us, man. He been
See,
sleeping on us. He's a
and I
beast
haven't
in this
even
game.
I haven't even really gone back and looked at it because I know I've heard a lot of the people in the community saying that Yamcha is fucking
It's
beast mode.
his assist is fire, and then his combos chain together quickly. Now, combos in this game, you can button mash this game like you're 3 years old. Ha! Ha! Shameless plug.
Check out that video.
Check out the description. There'll be a link for that one.
It's somewhere in this.
My top will
Ryan
whoop my ass.
Ryan gets his ass kicked by a 3-year-old girl.
Yeah, and she laughs at me.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and I have
thought
to
it was the
redeem
most
myself, and she
adorable.
quits. um, but you can button mash this game because everything's triggered off of auto combos. Now you can use that to your advantage within the game if you're gonna string together and chain together your combos. Like you can actually start into an auto combo to get your character to move, because the way the system is set up is it'll drag. Goku's a prime example of this. You can mash light and your light punch or your light attack, and it'll start the combo and it'll move your character closer, and you can actually start mashing that in the air to keep them in the air, because there's no true aerial combo versus just what you can pop up, get a couple hits in, and keep going. Like you can chain them, but they're not going to chain forever like you could have like Killer Instinct or something.
Yeah.
Or Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where you can just keep people in the air forever and just be a juggler.
Juggler, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You know, we skipped over something.
Oh, what? Are we drinking?
Yes.
That? Maybe? What are you
Mm-hmm.
drinking?
Well, you're going to make fun of me. Everybody in the comments is going to make fun of me. I don't give a fuck.
Make fun of him.
Today I swung by my local beer store just to kind of, because I wanted to get there's a beer series. Your dad got me 2 of the first ones. There's a 3rd one that comes out this year. That one finally came out, and so I wanted to try to swing by the store and see if I could pick up a couple of bottles. I only got 1 because it was the last one in the store. But then I looked over on the shelf next to me, and they had like a clearance rack. That just means the stuff's been in their little storeroom, and they need to get it out. Which means it has been cellared in proper temperatures and things along those lines. So what I found for $6 is a 2015 bottle of Nightmare on First Street Imperial Ale. It is a pumpkin beer, so, you know, you guys are going to fucking chew my ass on that shit. But,
I mean, basic white boy.
Oh, it's delicious, though. It's aged oh so properly. Tastes wonderful. Oh man, when I popped the top off the top of the top, shut up. The aroma that came out of that bottle, I tell you what, even right now, that's some good stuff, man. Talk all the shit you want. I love my pumpkin beer.
I plan on it. Mm-hmm. You know what? I actually don't need to talk any more shit on it because I've done it enough. It's kind of a played out joke, similar to you, but I mean.
Such a short fucking punchline. You
short joke
looking motherfucker.
Short joke. There it is. I'm actually gonna like keep a whiteboard up here, like off to the side, and every time we do these, you start making short jokes, I'm gonna just boop.
You know what? I got plenty of room for shit to hang up in here in my man cave that has air conditioning and heating when the time comes.
Hey, you know what? Mine's comfortable right now, so.
Right now?
Yeah.
We get you.
So I'm drinking Revolver Blood and Honey. Picked up a little 6er that the other day just to mess around with, just, you know, because I don't drink beer much anymore. But I wasn't really feeling drinking any whiskey. So, yeah. That's all I've got.
So, now, back to this clusterfuck of a fucking game. So, I guess we were trying to get all the positives out of the way first, because we talked about the visuals, music.
And remember, anybody who knows anything about the game knows that there's broken things about it. And if you followed it on Twitter, if you're pending buying it, but you know things are broken, none of this is going to really come as news to you. But what I want to do is, us going over the things we like, I think is smart, just because, to me, there's more things that outweigh good than the bad part of it. Now, the bad, broken aspect of the game is a large portion of every fight game. It weights very heavily. Mm-hmm. However, I think there are plenty of other aspects that are great. So, did you get to play any of the story yet?
So I did. I played. God, I think. So this is not a spoiler because I only played maybe for a couple of hours tops, because there's a lot of fucking bullshit that goes on. Now, real quick, I do just want to introduce you, Ryan, to what we commonly refer to in the pervy world as a visual novel, because that is exactly what the fucking story is here. The way that it plays out, where it's just like, people talk for a little bit, then you hit a button, then people talk for a little bit, and then you hit a button. Like, you have no interaction in that. It just comes down to the fight itself. That's the only time you have an interaction. So to me, the story is done in a visual novel type aspect, which is fine. It's great, using the 3D models inside of the maps to then tell a story and have conversations and be able to swing the camera around. That's really cool. Except sometimes when they transition from one place to the other, and yet there was no explanation as to how they moved. Like when Android, 16, the big green guy? Okay, so when he shows up at the beginning, and let's see, Goku and Bulma are there, and they're having their conversation about what's going on. And he shows up and he's like, "All right, we're going to fight." And then all of a sudden, you're no longer in Bulma's backyard; you're in a city street. That's not explained in any way, shape, or form. It's just all of a sudden you are in a city street, and Bulma's there too. So it's not like one of these things where Android was like, "Let's go to some place with less people and we're gonna fight," or Goku was like, I can't move because I'm stuck inside the head of the animal stuff."
I see what you're getting at, but I think you're nitpicking.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I am.
Like,
Because I haven't found anything wrong with the story yet. Sorry. The story itself, I haven't found anything wrong with. The fucking Mario Party board game bullshit of moving around to fight people?
Weird.
That's dumb.
Weird. It's weird, however, like, it's not the way that I would want to play the story. However, it does. It. You've done a little bit of the arcade, right? Like, you've done at least one of the arcade trees. Okay.
Yeah.
The arcade tree, right, is just a simple, straightforward computer based on your ranking of your prior match decides which tree you follow.
Yeah.
That the story is a more user choice version of that. And it's funny. They try to grab the completionists by saying, okay, you have X number of moves. Here are all the points on the story map. Your end boss is here. You are here. You've got other things in the middle. At some point, you can branch off and go rescue a character, which you always want to have backup characters. Because within the story, once they get knocked out, they're down for a while and you can't use them. You actually have to switch them out on your team. And everybody levels up based on who's fighting. So it's not like I can fight with Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan consistently and everybody levels. Like Yamcha, Krillin, and Boo are like level 8, and everybody else is close to 20 at this point. I don't. It's hard for me in the story to pick Yamcha, even though I know he's really good.
Well,
But-
yeah, because of how the story's going and
Yeah.
the canon that we know, it's
Yeah.
not something.
It doesn't jump out at me like, yes, pick Yamcha. It's just like I always like, okay, no, I'm not going to go for these guys. But sometimes I'll put the scrub team in, and they'll destroy lives. It's hilarious. Now I finished the first arc of the story, and I think I was going to get started on the second arc last night, and I ended up choosing not to. I was just doing arcade and working through ranked matches and stuff for a little while. So far, I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but content-wise of the story, I like it. I do feel like it's similar. I'm going to call out a similarity to Xenoverse in the fact that it's kind of an extension of an Android saga, where bringing back prior villains, right? And got kind of like timeline stuff, but they're not messing with timelines. They're not doing any of that. But I mean, it's all clone based, so that's as much detail into the story as I'm going to give. Anybody who's seen anything about the game has seen Android 21, also known as Majin Bay. So, yeah.
I haven't heard that yet.
You haven't heard that yet?
No, I saw you fighting her last night, and I was like,
dude,
"Ooh,
she's
so sexy."
you get her on your team when you beat all 3 arcs, right? When you beat the game. some fun aspects about her within play is the fact that she can steal powers. She can steal up to 4, 2 ground, 2 air. And depending on where she is, if she's on the ground when she goes to steal, it'll be ground. In the air, it'll be air. Um, and then she can save those, and the only way to maybe change one out, and it copies it. So like if you go to steal one from Goku, it's likely going to be his Kamehameha. You go to steal one from Vegeta, it could be Big Bang, it could be Galagun, it could be Final Flash, right? And it randomizes it and it picks. Now, if you say you steal one from Vegeta but you don't want that one, the only way to get rid of it is to either use it. Actually, no, I think that's the only way. Like, you can't actually cancel it. So, like, you have to use it even if you waste it to steal something from somebody else. I don't know why you would think about doing that if I'm just going to waste a blast to get a different one from somebody else. To me, that doesn't make sense.
No, you might
But
even if it's just a bottle rocket that you want to shoot off, you
yeah,
might as well point it at the bad guy anyway.
I think it's worth doing in practice mode just to get used to the steal and to get used to like a general strategy based on who you're fighting.
Mhm.
If you start stealing powers from everybody, so you just get used to it. Um, but yeah, so she's there. I haven't played with her. I've played against her a few times. I've seen her used on a bunch of YouTube videos and on a couple of streamers that I follow. And she's nuts, man. I don't. I'm not going to say she's the best character in the game because I think virtually all of the characters do the same basic chains. Um, how you Some of them are a little bit different. Like Blue Vegeta has got a different dunk and a different super dunk than some of the other ones, and it hits a lot harder. Hit specifically is a very technical character. He doesn't have any blasts. All of his stuff are all teleporting punches. So his combos, while to me I find them to be relatively easy to chain, are kind of basic. His
Yeah.
extended combos get very technical. Um, so his auto combos are easy, and he's very hard to fight against, especially if you're fighting against a button masher. If you fight against somebody who really knows how to use him, you're not going to win.
Which, I mean, that equals down to every fight that you and I have had.
Right.
Because I am mashing buttons because there's only a few things that I know. Like the only one that I picked up while you and I were playing against each other for the very few times that we have been able to was Gotenks, when I could do the little fucking cyclone bullshit, which
Hmm.
that fucking wrecks pussies. I'm
Oh,
telling you, it is just amazing.
I
I
hate
love
that little fucker. I hate him. I hate
I
him.
like him. I haven't heard him since I finally switched the voices over to English.
English? Yeah, I did that
Yeah.
too.
Because as I was about to go into the story, I was like, let me put this to English because I kind of don't want to pay attention.
Like, I'm fine with all the Japanese voices except Vegeta's. I've never liked Vegeta's Japanese voice. I just haven't. I think it's too whiny. Um, for some reason, I'm okay with Goku's and I'm not okay with Vegeta's. I don't know why. Um, but something about Vegeta's blasts, like when he's calling out his final flash in the English voice and Sean's voice, um, is, I don't know. I like it. So I think it's a lot better. But all in all, the gameplay I feel like is very smooth. It's very fluid. It's very easy to call in assists, trade out characters. You don't have to think about it too much. I mean, it's just holding a button. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't know,
It
man. I'm
seems,
having lots of fun with it. Like even in
yeah.
ranked matches, to get into technical aspects, right? Because this is going to move us into part of our gripes. Um, Ranked matches. Have you done any of those? I've done a few.
Look,
I'm
so
not good at them. I've done a
real
few.
quick, just so that we're all aware going into this, Ryan has spent way more time with the game than I have. In fact, I had a coworker that heard me bitching about this game so much, he went out and bought me a copy of Monster Hunter
Monster Hunter.
World. Yeah,
Oh,
and was just like, here, play this. It's good. Which that's gonna be a whole nother
it just came
conversation.
out. That's funny. I know it's
Yeah.
really good.
Well, that's look. I'm not to the point where I'm able to pass judgment on it yet. It's
I've seen
just,
people playing it for like 2 days straight. Like,
mm. And I need to do that because there's just so fucking much.
It looked a lot
I'm
when I watched you play it. It
I'm
looked like it was a lot.
yeah, and that's and the funny thing is like I was sitting there in a chat, like I was talking to a couple of other people while I was playing that game. We're getting off topic, but hang on a second, we'll get back to it. Um, I was talking to a couple. I was playing with a couple of people that night, and eventually I was like, I'm gonna jump out of your chat because I'm about to hit a bunch of tutorial shit, and I can't read it and listen to you guys talk at the same time. So that was the thing. I can't touch this anymore till we get to the grapes. So
Okay.
just be delicious over there. But so before we start getting into it, everybody understand that Ryan spent a lot more time in the game than I have because of what it did to me. So with what I've
The
played,
rage.
um, with the story mode, I had a really good time with that. I'm going to avoid gripes. So I can't talk about trying to do 2-player local. Not yet. Which I figured out, by the way. I did figure it out, but we'll get to that. I did enjoy the story. I thought it was really cool. The only thing that I didn't like is that it was trying to teach you how to play the game. You know, the little tutorial things up at the top.
Yeah, you
It
don't have to
would,
do them though.
no, but it would not register one. Like I was sitting
Yeah,
there
there's
doing
some
the
of them like
first.
if you don't like, it's weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
you
done
got to
where
do it
you've done the
exactly.
move and it won't register it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or because it was like close the gap, and I was like, okay, I walked into Android 16 and let him punch me, and it was still like close the gap. So,
Oh,
okay,
did it want you to dash?
I don't know what it fucking wanted because
Was it
all it
just
showed,
one? Was it
yeah,
just
all
one
it
button?
showed was the D-pad getting
Yeah.
pressed in one direction or the other.
Yeah,
It
it just
didn't
wanted you
do,
to tap it.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. I kicked
Yeah.
his ass. I moved on.
Yeah.
But
The only benefit for doing those really is extra zenny. I mean, I didn't even think about it at one point, and I stopped focusing on getting those.
mhm,
And I would randomly complete them when they would pop up. I would get some, but not all of them. And all of a
mhm.
sudden, like last night, I looked, I had like 60,000 zenny just because I wasn't doing anything with it. So I bought a whole bunch of capsules.
Loot crates.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's what we're gonna take that one and we're gonna put that over here for a minute.
They're bullshit loot crates though. Like, there's no desire to actually spend real money in this game.
Which is
None.
fine. Which is totally
So,
fine,
yeah, it's
but
great.
it is still a game that jumped on the loot crate train.
I'm gonna give it that much loot crate because if it had anything more enticing than what it had, I would say yes, 100%. But
Oh yeah, yeah. If it was like what was it, Street
it's all
Fighter
lobby
Cross
stuff.
Tekken,
It's all
yeah,
colors and lobby stuff.
and banners and shit like
Yeah.
that. That's totally fine because every person that I've ever watched a video, Jim Sterling, that you don't like talk about loot crate stuff, it's always been, but it's cosmetic. And well, this one actually is all cosmetic. So if he makes a video about that,
Fucking
for once
swear.
in my life, I'm going to have to disagree with the guy. But it is the fact that it is yet another $60 game with loot boxes and premium currency. And it's fine. It stays out of your face, so it's not a big
It,
deal. It's like
yeah.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
It's like
It's not a
it's
constant alert that
skins.
is like, hey, go check this out. Go check this out. They're not
Yeah,
drawing you to the store.
yeah. It's not like
So,
all of a sudden somebody hits you with a sniper rifle that does 5x more damage than the one that you started out with because they happen to have the early access to Star Wars. But I hope there's dust in your fucking. I'm sorry, that sounds rude. There was a Was there a bug? Are you seeing it? Because there was like something that floated in front of your camera.
oh, it's
And
probably dust. I mean,
okay, good.
it's a
Because
garage.
I watch these ghost hunter videos, and when an orb shows up on camera, I'm gonna fucking rewatch this shit over and over again and
You're gonna like frame by frame it.
analyze it, see if it's dust particles or a moth or some shit.
um, yeah,
Where
it's.
were we? I'm sorry, we
I don't
got off
know.
track.
You got off the topic on loot crates and started going on a Battlefront 2 tangent. So
I
let's
did.
bring it back. Let's bring it back. So,
Yeah, keep me grounded.
um, yes, I've spent more time in the game than you have, considerably. That being said, a couple of things that I want to discuss about matchmaking in general before we get a little bit more specific, because this is going to lead us into the salt. Into the salt mines we go. Um, Ranked. First of all, the lobbies. All of the U.S. and North America-based lobbies are finicky, right? Day one especially, we knew that there were going to be likely server issues because there was a lot of hype. It was like this for the beta, where getting into it was fucking horrible. Um,
Wait,
getting
real quick.
what?
How many fights do you actually recall getting into in the beta?
Like ranked match fights,
No, fights in general.
or like just the matchmaking
Where
fights?
where you were pressing buttons and guys were throwing punches.
Only like maybe two. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Like the servers on the beta were horrible, and that's what they put out that they were testing.
Now,
Stress testing servers. Okay.
I'm going to go back to my statement that I've said for years on this channel and some other place. That is a timed demo, because if they did nothing,
I'm not gonna say that they did nothing though, because
yeah,
because
no,
since
you're
launch
right.
I've been in considerably more fights.
You have been. But I would think that in a free open beta, you would have gotten more hits during that than you would have on launch day. Because free
Likely.
versus $60, you're probably gonna have more people playing your free shit.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, free. You would have had more during the open section, but the early access section, that apparently I got access to when I didn't pre-order the game at that point. I hadn't pre-ordered it yet. Um, I mean, it was all the same. It was open, whatever. Everybody jumped in. It didn't matter. It was shit. The servers were shit during the fucking beta, and everybody bitched about it. And I feel like, and from what I was seeing on Twitter, is they were more shit for Xbox than they were for PlayStation. Now, we know games like this, Japanese games like this, they get more love on PlayStation.
Yeah.
We know that.
That's
As
fine.
Xbox players, we come to expect this.
In fact, the same thing
However-
happened with Monster Hunter, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
However, I think the time demo is just, for lack of a better term, an old timer distinction. You're beta testing the main part of the game, which is all online play. That's what they were beta testing. They didn't let you. If they had let us get into the story or anything else, I would say yes, time demo.
Okay, but
But they didn't. They let you do the tutorial practice for just learning basic combos and shit, and then queuing for casual and ranked play. That's it.
here's my counterpoint to you is, if it was a true stress test beta type thing, it should have happened at least a month to a month and a half before release date. Not, what was that, 1 week?
I don't think it was open before that, but I think an alpha type thing happened. I don't know. I could be wrong.
That's still fine, but yet
Comments.
again,
Comments, tell us.
you got to understand there's a lot of people that have bowed out of the pre-order culture now that everything's available digitally. So what? I fucking
Yeah.
wake up the morning the game releases and I buy it as I'm getting dressed to go to work. It'll be downloaded by the time I get home.
Or
Doesn't
even
matter.
if you pre-order it digitally, it'll be there and just you fire it
Well,
up and play.
But then again, so many people have been burned on these fucking pre-orders that it's like me, not gonna lie. I went to pre-order it, but my pre-order is a couple of days before the game releases. I don't
That was mine.
pre-order like months in advance. Yeah, no, because I mean it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I want the game, but I don't want it to count on some fucking executive board. You know, it'll count as a
Fight
day
the
one
man.
sale. Yeah,
Fight
fuck
the
'em.
man.
Fuck them.
That's literally what you're trying to do, and it's stupid.
You don't
But
agree
whatever.
with it, that's
Like
fine.
it's a to
Taxation is theft, and that's something that you always throw out there. So if I can make my little jabs, I'm gonna make my little jabs
No,
where
I mean,
can.
listen, that's a personal preference thing, right? You're not truly doing anything. Like the people are like, I don't pre-order games because it affects the bottom line. No, it doesn't. It affects just preliminary potential sales reports, and if anything, it just affects their marketing budgets. That's all. Like it just affects, okay, how much do we have to hype this game based on what we're getting in current pre-order sales volume, and what do we think it's going to do? That's it. Now, this game released with tons of hype around it, and they were not prepared for the hype that they built.
Look, in my opinion, the reason why this game had so much fucking hype is, what is it, 5 or 6 different reasons? I can't remember. But I watched some guy open up the $200 collector's edition of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite,
And get
and
the
it was a
bullshit
bunch of
eggs.
Easter eggs with fucking lights underneath it. Guess what I decided not to buy? Not that fucking piece of shit.
I didn't even
Because,
buy any version of that game. Nope.
no, not happening.
Yeah,
No.
and
I
that's
will wait
fine.
till Game of the Year edition comes out
Yeah.
because the Ghost Rider's in that game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to get it, but
Yeah. No, and so the beta servers were shit. Okay. Come launch day, getting into US based lobbies, right, which is what we initially tried to do because, I mean, that's where we're based, was difficult on launch night. I figured it would be, but I thought it would have been easier than it was. Now, when we finally got into the same lobby, we streamed playing this game for 3 hours. I'm going to go ahead and preface this now, okay? We did this for roughly 3 hours and 20 minutes or something. That whole video is on the channel. If people want to scan through it, I understand 3 hours is a long time. Scanning through it, you're going to see a lot of dead space time.
you gotta understand though, in those 3 hours, I looked at my bank account numerous times, seeing the $60 that had vanished into nowhere. Hell, I almost got to the point of busting out my Nintendo Switch so I could play something during that time frame.
So launch night was bad. That's to say the least. We finally got into the same lobby, and here we go. Here it comes. Traditionally, and I'm going to compare this to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Killer Instinct, just because those are the two that we have direct experience with on the channel. Similarly, Injustice 2 is kind of like this. But traditionally, in a fight game, right, you create a lobby. You make that lobby public or private. It does not matter. You then invite your friends to said lobby. And you queue for battle. And you beat each other's faces in. And then you call it a night. Right? No. 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 That's not how this works. You have to create a fight ring. And then within that fight ring, you can have up to 8 people. Within the ring structure, you have basically 2 fight rooms where you can have 2 people fighting and up to, I think, 3 people watching, queued to fight the winner stay, loser go type scenario. And these 2 fights can be happening at the same time. You can start a fight ring and make everything open except any internet connection, no restrictions on your ring lobby, your little mini lobby within a lobby. And then, your buddy can walk into it, attempt to join, and it'll say no rooms found.
Oh.
No rooms
It
found.
doesn't happen immediately, though. It doesn't happen immediately, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. It searches. It searches for
It makes you
solid
think. It dangles
minute.
the carrot. It dangles the carrot.
Minute. You get to look at the fucking spinning, fucking my porn's not loading correctly fucking thing of doom, where you're anticipating. You've got your hand on your cock and your thumb in your asshole, and all you want to do is play with your goddamn joystick, and it spins around and spins around and spins around and says, no rooms found. Well, I didn't go to a fucking video arcade. That's not what I'm here for. I just want to beat the hell out of my friend while I touch my penis a little bit. Sorry, Ryan. I know this is the first you've heard about this, but I touch my penis when we fight.
That would have made me rage too. I mean, if you want to go to the Fiend 75002 Instagram, he's got a video up there showing the rage and what happens. You can also watch the stream. Now, he was trying to join my ring consistently. I think I tried to join his like once, and it didn't happen. Now, that was obviously launch day. Bandai got blown the fuck up on Twitter about it. in
Well,
all the.
here's the problem. I feel like you're about to move on, and I don't want you to
I'm
do
not.
this.
I'm not going to move on yet.
Here's
So
here's the problem. Any fighting game that's launched, in any way, shape, or form, there has always been at launch the ability to create a private lobby. And I'm not talking about this fucking Destiny Tower bullshit that they make you go into. You don't create a lobby there. You create a lobby off of your fucking
off of the
the
matchmaking.
you don't need to be in an online session to create a private online session. This thing is trying to do the fighting game or the games as a service type thing where it's like, hey, here, look at all these people walking around. These are actually people walking around. I don't fucking care. I can't fucking fight these people at all.
I feel
Why
like
do
it's
I
all.
want
I
to see them?
feel like it's a bad copy of Xenoverse.
Man,
And here's why I say that. In Xenoverse, you're running around that fucking city, right? And you can just run up to somebody and challenge them. Like you can just bup, 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 yeah, let's fight, homie. And then you go fight. Now, here, you've got to go through a whole bunch of extra steps in a weird fixed camera view third person area. I don't like the lobby world aspect that they have. Like, it's not necessary, in my opinion.
no. In fact, it wastes time.
I agree. Now, we figured out that wouldn't work. So, and we knew that queuing for a casual match over in the world area was just like, it's a shot in the fucking dark. Just because if there's 60 people, there's roughly 4,000 total lobby spots available from an article that I read. Total. Like, I think for just North America. And I don't know, because I haven't counted.
I'm not doing math.
I'm not gonna do that.
I play video games. The math is done elsewhere.
Yeah, I look at numbers and shit at a different point in my life. I don't jump into a fighting game to do that. But, and that's just from an article that I read. Now, A, you'd think there'd be more than that. B, queuing for a world match, even casual rank, doesn't matter, and then just going to do arcade or story or something while you wait, and then you get matched up with somebody. If it were to be us, that's a long shot. So we ended up choosing the arena match where you queue, everybody stands around in a circle, and it cycles through everybody in the circle. Now, the logic train for that process, right? Yep, there's the sigh. Here we go. Because we both got salty as fuck. I think in the one we had like 6 people sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
There was one point where a solid 5 to 10 minutes went by where nobody was fighting and we were all just standing there.
Yes.
And you stand there stretching your quads, right? Getting your legs limbered.
Quad stretches. Not to mention the fact that when we came up to this circle, there were 3 fights going on in the center of it. Now, the only way that you could tell that there's 3 fights going on is they take your super chibi little fucking lobby fucker and you put them next to each other and they just go like this.
You can't even watch the fight in progress.
No, you can't. That's the other bullshit. It would have been fine if it was one of these things where you and I could sit there and talk shit over other people's fights while we were watching them. Instead of getting into the fucking nice sweater, by the way, I just saw the Mary Lifton miss. That's
Mary
that's
Lift miss, you filthy animal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's clever. Sorry. Back on the hate. So it's one of these things where if I could at least watch something, if I could see something instead of watching a bunch of chibi little fuckers fucking doing this shit back and forth, and the fact that periods of time you'd see 3 fights going on in the center of the room, but you'd have 2 people standing on the outer edges.
Just hanging out.
Could we not have a 4th fight? Okay, fine. Fine. Let me backpedal. I'll give that to you. Maybe this lobby can only handle 3 of those fights going on at a time. Then I ask you this. Why at one point did we have 12 fucking
not
people
fighting
standing around the edges, no one having a fight?
And this actually happened too with
$60.
No,
Just
this also happened. This also happened with me and you, where it was we changed lobbies because eventually, right, connection just died. Still happens to this day, but not as often. I will say not as often. It's probably like if I played every night, it might happen once a night to me where I get kicked out of the lobby, maybe twice at max. Now, I personally believe once is too many because that shouldn't happen, but I mean, we live in a world where sometimes that shit just happens. Um, so we jumped into a lobby again. It was just you and me in the arena area, queued up, waiting to fight
Hmm.
for I don't even remember how long. It was a stupid
I,
amount of time.
it
It,
was
it
about
was
five
longer than
minutes.
60 seconds, which was too long.
Yeah.
Because if the way it should work, if you've got multiple lobby sessions, if your online matchmaking world is broke up into multiple lobby sessions operating off of their own rules, even though those rules are copy paste, right? They're copy paste in the code of everybody gets queued in whatever order that they get queued in. If we both run up to the arena match and the code is set to say, okay, X fighter available, not fighting, match fighters.
Yeah.
For the only two people there, we should be immediately matched. Immediately matched. And then when our fight ends and we go back to the lobby, if we are still the only two people there, then we fight again after roughly 60 seconds to give people time to back out.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if there's a third person there, then it's where it gets weird. At that point, the code could say, take the winner, put them with the new guy, let the loser sit there and sulk for a bit. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
But there
that
were
we
times
oh.
there were times when we were in like a larger group of people where what was that big Billy Jackhammer or whatever the fuck his name was? Like we did get to a point in this game where me
Where
and
we
Ryan
fought
fought each other.
like three
Spoiler for the
times.
3 hour
Three fights.
stream. 3 times we got a chance to fight each other, and these
And it
things
was fun.
last maybe a minute and a half.
Yeah. I don't even
Uh,
remember who won each time. Like
I think I won the first one, and then I think you got on the shit and didn't fucking let up. No, yeah, because I won the first one, and then you found out that hit was beast, and now you won't fucking stop.
I
So I'm
am
gonna have to play.
I am swapping through
I'm
other
gonna have to
characters
play
because I want to get
Yamcha
used to them. Okay, you know what? Bet. Bring that in. Bring that in. Let's do it.
some night. Hit versus Yamcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 You know what? And we'll put him as the primary and the main with no switching. First one to drop the other wins that match. Not per the
Regardless of
game.
what
It's yeah.
regardless of whatever actually
Because
happens.
after that, it's Fuckfest 99.
Yeah.
You know, even though that was almost. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm
So,
busy. I have 2 unwatched messages on Marco Polo. I still have that app. The
oh,
fuck?
man, tell the hookers they need to show up later. Um,
Shh, Polynesian transvestites, baby.
so all in all, since
There's no all in all. Let's not
oh
all in all
no
yet.
no yeah no so here's the thing. You tell me what your issues were with local play because I played with my 3-year-old and had no problems. So
So, here we go. Here's the thing.
it's the Fiend show.
Here we go. It's the Fiend show, and I'm going to clap my hands every time I say word. So basically what it was is I had a friend over and I wanted to show off the game, and I was like, local play, that should be super fucking easy, right? So after 20
Let's
minutes
keep
of
in mind
trying,
that you have to go to an online lobby to get into local play.
I was just about to get there. After waiting probably about 10 minutes for an online lobby to accept me so that I could go over to the thing and then
Choose like
finally
Columbia or something. It's a whole lot faster.
yeah, well, actually now this auto fucking lobby shit that they patched in, that works a lot faster now, but besides the point. So we're in the game, not fucking thinking about it. We've already turned on the second controller. So this leads to a series of hilarious events. Both controllers can control player one. I can move around the lobby. They can move around the lobby. So when we go to the local guy and say, hey, we'd like to fight, he's only registering one controller. But yet both of us can move that controller icon. Did we take a match against the computer? You better believe we did, just for shits and giggles, to watch what happened.
Were you both controlling the fight?
Player 1.
Like, did
Both
you
could.
pick a main character and then she picked
No.
a main character?
No. Random.
No, but I mean, like, in the fight. Like, it was like you controlled the first one and she did the second one? Or
Oh, we could have done that, but what fun would that be? With a broken piece of garbage like
were
this.
you spamming? You both. Oh my god. Why were you not streaming that?
Because I was still super fucking salty.
That would have been perfect, though, dude.
Yeah, well,
The auto combos that would have happened from that, I bet you would have been glorious. Or they would have just had a seizure and died.
Yeah, it would have been stupid. So 2 or 3 days later, I think you and I were setting up to play it again, or I decided that I was going to go in and actually play some story mode. But I went ahead and I walked over to the guy that does the local battles, and I was only playing with my gaming controller, not my TV controller. So I got to the point and I was like, oh, I'm in here, so let me go over here and I'm going to hit the button. Oh, look, the second controller showed up. So it's like you specifically have to go to that guy, then turn on the second controller, is the series of events that I had to go through to get it to work.
Which is weird.
Yeah, that's my experience with the game. It's going to vary from person to person. Now, granted, I'm running on a launch Xbox One, so
I don't think that matters.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, but
It
you know.
So, like, my experience, okay? If you watch the video that is me getting beat, or I lost to my 3-year-old, it's on the channel, and I'll actually put that link in the description because it's hilarious.
It is.
It also demonstrates what we're talking about here, because it actually starts with me. So I'm not going to let my 3-year-old run around with an on controller in a lobby like that, because it's going to back me out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to happen. She already had backed us out of a couple of matches before on accident, just spamming buttons, thinking it was funny.
That sounds just like you.
She's a mini-me, that's for sure. So I was hanging on to the controller at that point, but it was already on. I walked over, local play guy, bam, begin battle. Both controllers in the center. I put second player her, first player me, hit A, and then I would pick everything for her. I'd let her tell me, because she can't push A, she'll push a different button.
Yeah.
And then, we went in and fought with no issues. So a lot of that could have just been the fact that A, the controller was already on, but only one controller was being used to control my person. And because at that point it hadn't registered the second one as something to move my lobby character around. So it sounds to me like you guys just hit on a weird glitch.
Yeah. And that's always a possibility, that we happen to land into something that will never, ever happen again. Like, I may never be able to recreate that bug.
Probably not.
Or it's a shippable bug that they were just like, nah, fuck it. Nobody's going to ever run into this. Everybody plays video games online. Why do you think that we're going to make them go into a server anyway, right off the bat, without even waiting to see if people want to play offline? Like, I should not have to go onto an online server to play a story mode that requires me and only me to be a part of it. Now, granted, in Destiny, you have to go back to the tower and buy weapons and let's talk about the first Destiny, and ammo. What was the ammo things called?
The ammo synth?
Yeah, you had stuff that you needed to buy there, so it made sense to have a place where it's like, look at all the other people that are playing the game. If you weren't such a lonely hermit-ass motherfucker and had some friends, you might be able to enjoy the game with other people too. Fuck you. But
fight games are different though. Fighting games need to not try to emulate the
Destiny.
open world first-person shooter.
Yes, or MMOs.
Yeah.
At all. It's cool. I do like being able to see all the other little things that people have gotten out of loot boxes. That's nice. That's great. Makes me a little jelly. Like, hey, look, this guy's got Piccolo when he's wearing the police outfit or the police hat or
Krillin.
whatever what
Krillin
he's
with the yep.
whoever the fuck. I don't really
Yep.
care.
Yep.
I got Gotenks right out the bat, so it's like, okay, I'm set.
You got your long blonde hair. You okay with it?
Coolest character in the fucking game, in my opinion.
Fucking.
I don't watch Super, so
He's
yeah.
hardly even in Super.
No, I'm talking because that's why I don't like Hit.
Yeah.
But my point being is as simple as it is, be it KI, Killer, or I'm a little drunk. Be it KI, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, fucking Marvel vs. Capcom 3,
Yeah.
it is super fucking easy and quick to just set up a private lobby. And I don't need to see shit except for their name and maybe a little icon that they've chosen to be next to their name. I don't have to see a little chibi fucking fucker running around the fucking chibi fucking thing of your fucking universe to be like, let's check it out. Look at all that stuff. That's fine. I'm glad you put that much work into it. I tell you what, when I want to go online and fucking like fight strangers online, then I will go to your game house and your fucking loot box store and fucking walk around that shit and deal with it. But
Yeah.
when the game loads and you press start, it should ask you, do you want story mode? Do you want to create lobby? Do you want a multiplayer lobby? That's where it should go.
You're. I
I'm not
100%.
wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I 100% agree with you. Like that's how the mechanic of getting into the game should work. It's how it works in every other fighting game, and this isn't a change for the better.
No.
So now, if this wasn't such a large aspect of the game, especially for us because we like to stream fight lobbies because of the amount of shit that we talk. If you've ever seen us play Killer Instinct before, we've gotten groups of 6 to 7 people in there. All people that we know, all of us friends, not necessarily everybody knowing each other, but all of us knowing either me or Ian, talking mad amounts of shit. And none of us are extremely adept and badass. Like, we're not fucking Maximilian dude.
Yeah.
We're not schooling and literally just creating, hey, this is how you have to do this if you want to be the best, right? We're not that.
We're a couple of guys.
We're Joe
up to no
Schmoes.
good.
We're fucking
started causing trouble in your neighborhood. We caused 18 little fights, and your mom got scared. Saw that we were drinking some pumpkin beer and said, "Get the fuck away from those white faggots." But it destroys the small community that us as I don't want to say as
small time.
streamers.
Well,
I mean,
no, I mean, you got to look at it. We're small time streamers, just small time creators, right? 70 subscribers now. Woo woo! Like listen.
to YouTube, not to your Twitch. Let's
Right,
just make
not-
sure that we say
Right,
that.
we're to the YouTube channel. My Twitch is like 1.
I subscribed last night when I couldn't hear you give me kudos.
Oh,
I
did
re-upped.
the alert go off?
No.
Oh, weird.
There was a lot of... When you switched over to the Division, that's when your volumes got right. But when you were playing DBFZ, it was all sorts of crazy, dude.
Yeah, I mean, nothing changed. I think it's the sound. The sound in Dragon Ball FighterZ is extremely loud. I started the game without any music. Like I turned the music in the game off, just because I wanted my own background song requests to be able to play and be heard. So, I mean, but then like I had my headphones on so I could hear the fight, and then I couldn't hear anything else, and it was just weird. So I don't know. There's something weird with it, but
well, I've had to go in and like playing the story mode. I had to take the music and bump it down to 40%. Had to bump the fucking the dialogue volume up to 100 and the sound effects down to like 75 because of how loud everything is over all the talking.
Yeah. I've been able to leave sound effects and voice volume the same. I do think I could probably turn up voice volume a little bit because it is hard to hear some of the key words that are said when like combos happen. And if you're not listening for it, you won't catch it. Like when you switch it to English, and hit goes into his 3-bar ultra, he stands there and says, "This is the stance," and that's from this. It's from the show, and unless you're listening for it, you won't always hear it. So it's interesting. But so things we've talked about, right? Because we've basically covered the whole game now without going into spoilers within the story. And we've talked about some of our favorite characters and stuff. I'm gonna keep playing it. I know he'll keep playing it just because he spent money on it and he can't return it at this point. Um,
Yeah, because I had to buy a fucking digital version of it. But that's a fucking rant for another day altogether.
oh yeah, you and I can both go off about that, but I don't want to talk about Evolve anymore. Um,
Cheers. You know what?
yeah,
I've got my Evolve, but I didn't spend $80 on it.
yeah, go fuck yourself. That being said, considering if we were to rate this game, and I don't feel like it would be fair to rate it because Fiend has not spent as much time in the game as I have, and so I've had more exposure to it and have been able to come to terms with what I really like about the game. So my rating would be inflated far above his because of that fact.
So here's the thing: is if I could give a rating based just solely on what I've seen, it's not going to be that bad. Like, let's take out the multiplayer lobby shit. Let's take that out. So, you got art style, you got gameplay, you got story. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to even bitch about load times.
The arcade version's good too.
No, it's the game overall by itself. If it was something I was playing alone and didn't have to log into an online lobby, if it was something that I just sat down and played like here, like somehow I had a version that was not connected to the internet at all, and all I had was access to the arcade, the story mode, and local multiplayer or local fighter fucking shit. Great fucking game. Fucking amazing. I love the visuals. They are beautiful. The controls are on point. The story is what the story makes me think of are those fucking movies that would come out mid-season in Dragon Ball Z. They don't matter. You could take it or
It
leave
is like
it.
a movie story, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, that's awesome. I don't have to have watched Super to understand what's going on.
It's like the fucking Android 13.
Yeah, so I've watched a shit ton of those movies out of order back in the day when I got fan subs of the movies. Like the Boo Saga hadn't even made it over here, and all of a sudden I'm watching, where he goes Super Saiyan, what is it, 3 when he gets the ass link there?
Yeah.
I've got like the Dragon Fusion or Dragon Punch.
Oh yeah, when he's going up against Hildegard. With Tapion, how Future Trunks gets his sword.
Is that how? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly it. So I mean, it's just
movies aren't canon.
No,
but
I mean they are, but
they are, but they're not. They're their own canon, but sometimes they call back to the show. No, continue. I get it.
But still, it's one of these things. Like if I had to, taking out the multiplayer, taking out everything that connects it to the internet, if I had to give a rating on it with the short period of time that I've had, which has granted only been a few hours of actual gameplay, I would probably say this is a solid 8, 7-ish kind of range. I would do a 7.5 if I had to. If I can do a 0.5, I would do a 7.5. And that's all based on just the art, the gameplay, and the fucking story.
So if I'm going to do that, for me it's a 9. Solid 9. And if I factor in the rest, considering my exposure, it's a 7.5 for me. Strictly because I find that queuing for I've been queuing for a lot of ranked matches lately, and then what I go and I queue, and then I'll go do arcade or I'll go do story, and it alerts you within. That's the only benefit if you want to go in and just, you know what, I'm just gonna fuck around tonight and do a bunch of rando matches and go do some arcade. You can go do that and still be and just get called for it versus being like, okay, let me search and wait until somebody pops up, right? Um,
But
that's the that it's a side benefit to me. I feel like it's cool. I don't think it should be a main staple of the game, but considering my total exposure to the game, I'd give it a 7.5. Take out the multiplayer broken issues that you and I have experienced and that they've had. Um, solid 9, maybe like a 9.5 pushing it. Just because I don't think that giving any game a solid 10 is easy to do. Artwork's great, controls are great, and I can't sit here and say I've played tons of Guilty Gear games. I'm not a fighting game guy, so I can't sit here and say that. If I did, I probably did and didn't even know it. Um, but the controls are fun. It's I don't
it's a
know.
fun game.
It's
A
fun.
fun game.
I enjoy playing it. I watched a dude get. Oh, so I was watching Maximilian Dude last night for a little bit, and I was playing and he was playing on his stream, and he was doing a team of all three Gokus, right? So regular Super Saiyan Blue and Goku, and he took Blue, regular Goku, and Kamehameha sandwiched a dude. Had like one coming down diagonal, one going up diagonal, and then he even crossed the streams at one point. Um, that shit was hilarious. Hilarious. I got it clipped, and I don't know if I still have the link, but it was
I
funny.
watched Kotaku does this thing every week where they do 2 videos called was it like highlights of the week or something, some shit like that. Well, they had 2 people that were playing as Vegeta, and they were both trying to pull off that auto combo shit, and they basically just climbed into the air, smacking into each other
Yeah,
over and over again.
because if the punch times the same, it cancels.
Yeah. Which is
That
cool because it still gives you like a visual feedback. It's like you both did this at the same time, so you both kind of punch each other's fists,
and
or
that's exactly
you
what happens in
hit.
the story too.
Yeah,
Like you see them like they'll all land fists at the same time and just freeze and sit there.
because they thought they were going to be able to do a whole bunch of other shit afterwards.
Yeah.
But again, me personally, if you're thinking about buying this game and for some fucked up reason you were waiting to hear what we thought about it, well, for one, thank you, and I appreciate that. But for two, what
We
the
love
fuck are you doing with your life? But I would say give it a solid month, month and a half, maybe even 2 months. Let them figure out their online shit. Let them put the patches and the updates that are going to happen. Maybe at some point we'll get the menu at the beginning that I was talking about where you press start. Then it's like multiplayer, single player, friends, that shit. Maybe we'll get that. Maybe we won't. Fuck if I know. I don't fucking speak Japanese. But I I would say at some point, if you are interested in this game, pick it up. Rent it, play it over at a buddy's house. It's still a lot of fucking fun.
Definitely fun, yeah. I'm actually going to take it over to my parents' house to see if I can get my nephew and Ray to play it.
I'm going to try to see if I could get my son to play it tonight. Or not
Yeah.
tonight. He's already in bed. He's not still awake. He hasn't been listening to me drunkenly scream the word fuck.
Do you want to play?
Dude, go to bed. Dude, go to bed. No. I'm not going to play anything tonight, to be honest with you.
Okay.
My shoulder has been severely fucked up. And I know that sounds like a fucking cop-out, but it's...
I get it. My elbow's fucked up, so.
Yeah,
All
but
good.
see, you do things.
Yeah, I know.
You lift
yeah.
weight. I lift cans of beer, and my arm goes, fuck you. I got these guns.
Yeah.
Like you, the only reason why you see that little bend there is malnutrition. That's
All right. Thanks for hanging out. This was a lot longer than we wanted it to be. I thought we were going to only go for like 20 minutes, but of course we wanted to make sure we got all the good out before we got into the salt that is Fiend. his entire being is salt, but at the same time, we both have a lot of issues with some things about this game. So
That's why bitches lick me, 'cause they need the cow lick and the salt lick all up on their dick. Dick rhymes with lick and salt, so they gotta get the salt lick off my dick. You gonna
and on
fuck with
that note, we'll leave you with a couple of clips here of some fun super moves. Feel free to drop a sub, hit that notification bell so you know when we do shit. We upload movies.
movies? We upload movies.
Apparently it's movies now. We upload random game footage. I'm sure Fiend's going to put up some of that Monster Hunter World stuff. I'll put up some Dragon Ball stuff. I'm going to be finishing Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins soon, and starting Shadow of War eventually, and then I got to get back into Evil Within 2 that I really don't want to play just because the game makes me rage.
And here soon, I'm gonna start back up on a scary game. I'm probably
Yay!
gonna start
Which
back
game?
up on Until Dawn. I think that's
Okay.
what I'm gonna do first because it's shorter than anything else that I've got.
Love it.
Not that I,
Wow!
not that I don't
Yowza!
know everything that's in there, but still, I've got that. I've got The Last of Us. I got some other stuff coming down the pipeline. I also have another version of Bayonetta 2 that I'm going to be purchasing. So, for the
Sweet.
Switch.
And I
So,
know we're going to be playing The Division again soon. I actually jumped into that a little bit last night just to be like,
saw that.
yeah, be like, hey, what's this like now? And then eventually I got wrecked. Got wrecked hard. So
Yeah, I walked away and came back, and you were gone, and it was like, oh, okay.
it was not nice. It was
Were
not-
you
I
in
was
the
like,
dark zone?
No, I was not. I was trying to do a mission, and I was like, I need people for this. I haven't needed people for this stuff in a long time.
Was there magic fire?
No, there was no magic fire. There were magic shotguns, though.
Magic buckshot. That doesn't like.
No, there's
no.
apparently there's magic fire in Assassin's Creed Origins, though. So, yeah, cool. Thanks for hanging out with us. Drop comments and stuff. Yell at us, make fun of us, tell us what you want us to talk about next time. Hopefully, we'll be able to get Patrick on next time. We'll be able to get some extra commentary in there. Otherwise, check all the links. We'll catch you on the flip side.
It's my turn! Go! Spectrum Disc! Here it comes, Krillin!